About 3 to 4 months ago, I lied to you guys about client-side vulnerabilities. I said they weren't worth hunting for and that you should focus all of your time, especially if you're a new hunter, on server-side bugs because they're more complex and therefore they have less hunters hunting them, meaning you have a higher chance of finding something and it's less likely to be a duplicate. And while that's true, in the last couple of weeks, I have realized I have been completely wrong about ignoring client side. So, what changed? It's over the last week or two, I've been focusing a lot more of my time, or maybe month, on implementing Claude code into my hunting. At first, I thought it would be doing the hacking for me and I would become more like a triager. However, that has resulted in lots of false positives and wasted time. So as of the last week or two, I've been focusing more on creating really good skills and commands for Claude Code to do reconnaissance. And it is really good at reconnaissance. And throughout that process, I learned that client side is actually an invaluable part of hunting on an application. It's not because you need to find a bug on the client side bug. However, having client-side context is extremely important. Like, if you're not reading things like the JS, you're not looking at the browser stuff, if you're not reading documentation, you're not doing all this stuff, and you just go straight to what's happening on the back end, to be honest, you have less context about what's going on. So this is what I do with Claude Code. I have different agents. One is actually called a JS attack, which is a skill that I made, well, it's actually a command. And all it does, it will pull all of the JS it can find, JS files it can find, on the target URL that I give it. And we'll read them all, and then from there, it will create attack vectors for me. These are all attack vectors that from reading client-side stuff. And these client-side stuff doesn't mean the only thing you're not hunting is client-side bugs. However, this client-side stuff helps enforce the attack vectors that could be possible on the back end. And I do the same thing with another command called doc attack, where I have it read documents related to the target, and then once again it creates attack vectors. Again, it's invaluable. Client side and server side work together. Not because obviously hunters specialize. Some specialize in server side, some specialize in client side, some specialize in XSS, others broken access control and business logic. That's not the point. The point is, as a bug bounty hunter, I'd say we all must specialize in doing reconnaissance. And reconnaissance doesn't mean only doing server-side stuff or only doing client-side stuff. Reconnaissance requires finding everything you possibly can in an application and using all of that combined knowledge to create as many attack vectors as possible. Because for every 100 attack vectors that you come up with that are reasonable, you'll have about 3 to 5% that are actually bugs. So your whole point as a bug bounty hunter is to create as many attack vectors as possible to give you as much opportunity to find valid bugs. And by limiting yourself to only server side and I hunt for complexity, which is true, that's a real thing, but you're putting yourself up in a box, especially if you're early on hunting. That's what I did. I was putting myself in a box. I made myself seem proud of it because I hunt OAuth. I got banned on BugCrowd for 30 days, only 30 days, for continuously reporting misconfigurations with no impact. Because I thought I was this OAuth goat. No, I was a noob, okay? Still banned. I think I'm banned for like another 10 days. So, what does this mean going forward? I want you guys to know that going forward, I will be hunting. Actually, I hunt both client-side and server-side now. Because now that I'm actually doing client-side recon, I'm actually starting to understand client-side vulnerabilities more than I ever did, while still being able to report more bugs because I just have an overall better understanding of what's going on through client-side and server-side recon. So the amount of attack vectors I'm creating is way more. Therefore, the amount of bugs that I'm finding is way more. Like on this current target, this VDP, I've now reported 6 vulnerabilities. 3 are pending. 1 has been accepted. 1 was a dupe of an informative. The other was just an informative. Like, this is working. That's the only takeaway I have for you guys. Client side, server side, put them together, create attack vectors. Attack vectors are where you find bugs. Client side, server side reconnaissance, all of this is just to create attack vectors. And then use that, use your head, use Claude Code or whatever tools you're using, use them smartly, use them wisely. Remember, it always comes back down to critical thinking. If you like this episode of Bug Bounty, if you liked, you know what, subscribe.